Camera action, well done. Thank you, Andy. The video's rolling, let's do it. Welcome back to A Place in Space. It's Tuesday, it's a few more sleeps till Christmas. Let's roll. Okay, super quickly, we're kicking off from Marvel here. We've got Alien number 4. And you might ask, 4? Yes, 4. Marvel have been doing big guns over on everything Xenomorph and Predator right now, although this isn't Predator week. It does feel like Marvel are building towards some epic, big AVP crossover stuff very soon. And if that does happen, then that will go off like a bloody atom bomb. And everyone will want it. So please, Marvel, please. Okay, Dark Web came out last week in addition to Dark Web X-Men number 1. This week you get Dark Web Ms. Marvel number 1. So I can speak. That's fun. Anyway, there's also Black Cat and Mary Jane. We've temporarily sold out of that. We will desperately try and get more in very soon as well. Spider-Man The Lost Hunt has a number 2 with a delicious cover from one Mr. Ryan Brown. I have to say, all things Spider-Man have seem very dark right now. There's lots of little mini-series, lots of Halloween-esque mini-series and vampire mini-series, which are coming out under the guise of Peter Parker, which are really, really quite nice and dark and grimy. Enjoying that. X-Men gets the annual. To finish up X-Men and the wonderful, marvellous World of Mutants run for 2022. That is the annual for this week. DC time. I'm going to pause on a few books here, so bear with me because there's some quite heavy stuff going on. Tom Taylor has completely reinvitalised and reinvigorated all things Nightwing right now. The title has never been bigger, and basically you're all buying it, so I don't really need to speak about it too much, but basically it's never been better, and I love that. The use of negative space on that's just fantastic. I'm going to struggle to think of a bigger book DC have had recently other than DC vs. Spawn. This, however, is much more based in ongoing storyline content. That is Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths issue 7. Flicking through this feels massive. 3 first appearances in it. It feels like a real big, nice culmination of storytelling. Joshua Williamson is working his nuts off in there. All the artists are brilliant. But Williamson's writing, I think, is absolutely key there. That feels like a genuinely quite big bit of modern DC history. So we'll see where that goes going forward. Indie time. There's a lot going on. What's the furthest place from here? Issue number 9. This was initially cancelled from us some time ago because it got so bloody delayed by Image, but it's now finally here. Okay, so if you did receive your pre-order cancelled from us, it's now finally here. We weren't told in advance when it was finally going to ship, but yeah, it kind of got thrust upon us randomly, so we've now got that back in stock. So if you were wanting to complete the run, that is out this week. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Irillian Enigma. I hope I said that right. That is out now from IDW, who I have to say, between Lower Decks and the other miniseries they've been doing, have somewhat reinvitalised and reinvigorated their Star Trek run. So bravo, that is good. Resident Evil has back for another comic run, this time under Tokyo Pop. So I want to say IDW had the last Resident Evil license, and that's going back about a good 14 years. Don't quote me on that, but it's been some time. That will disappear very quickly. If you're a Resident Evil or horror fan, don't sleep on that one, that will go. This is beautiful. Leonid the Vampire, number 1, it's just a one-shot by Mike Mignola, not quite set in the Hellboy verse, but it's Mike Mignola telling, in the only way he can, his particular brand of off-kilter, quite macabre goth storylines heading in towards the festive period. Basically, there's a festive vampire, there's a casket that's found, the whole thing goes downhill from there, and he's done internal page and storyline artwork as well. Delicious, love that. Archie, not being content to let him rule the roost, is back with his happy horror festive one-shot as well. So that's out for all of you horror fiends. Keeping it going on the horror theme festive front, this is not quite as horror, but it's from the lovely boys and ghouls at Zenscope. Hi Jason. It's nice to see them do a little festive offering as well. And 2 slightly more odd ones to finish out. You got Biden's Titans, which seems to be versus the continued assault of Donald Trump as a zombie and Dracula. That looks about as highbrow as the cover, so trust me on that one. If you don't want to think too much this week, pick up a copy of that. That'll be great. And Assassin's Apprentice is out to you now by Dark Horse. This collaborates with Robin Hobb, fantasy author of much note. She's been working diligently for many years. It's actually lovely to see her get a comic adaptation. And I think Andy's telling me I've got a few quick minutes for covers of the week. Let's go to some good ones again. That is just awesome. It's been a long, long time. Love it. It's really nice to see him doing stuff that isn't just straight up pin-up. When he really puts his mind to it. That's very cool. Gun Honey, issue 4. That's Sousa Mackay cover. This is Steve McNiven, normally working over Marvel, but this time he's collaborating with Donny Cates on the Vanish cover. That's tributing, of course, the old Akira covers of much fame. Sorry, I forgot to mention, that's Adam Hughes. Gunslinger has a Puppeteer Lee cover. Puppeteer Lee's come a long way since he started doing those DC variant covers. That's just delicious, as is the pencil variant he did. I'm going to go over to Villa Bobus with the X-Men Annual. I'll move that a little bit closer because there's a lot of detail in there. Finally, getting, I think we're rounding up on DC. Let's do it. Paul McCartney gets a nice little, not quite a Beatles cover, but he's on the DC, Dark Crisis issue 7 variant. Any kind of Paul McCartney Beatles cover is always on note. They always are sought after in years to come, and you can't find them that easily. So don't sleep on that one if you're a bit of a Beatles collective maniac. Catwoman issue 50 has that by Stefan Sejic. I absolutely love the details in that. The lights in the background, she's biting a lip, trying to unpick the lock. There's a lot of storytelling going on there. Very cool. Soza Mackay has done that, which just blew me the hell away. And if it wasn't for the one I'm holding on my left, then that would probably be it, because that's just too delicious. But George Perez gets his tribute cover on Dark Crisis issue 7, which is incredibly sweet and lovely. So that is it for this week, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be a pleasure to see you very, very soon indeed. Do like, comment, share and subscribe if you can, because it does help us out a hell of a lot. And if you find out you're missing books, do shoot me an email actually, because it'll be very easy to put you down for a sub if you want to make sure you're not missing anything. And for the folks who did vote for us for the best local comic shop, thank you so much. That was very, very cool. That was a lovely little surprise over the weekend. Do have a good one, and we'll touch base before the week's up. Much love.